every single person on our team, and nobody played well today, and you should look yourself in the mirror.
The lights were pink, the crowd was buzzing, the banners screamed Barbie Night, and yet, under the sparkling illusions of themed celebration and glittery distractions, something entirely different was unfolding inside the United Center. This was supposed to be Angel Reese's night. Her persona had been crafted into this evening's headline. The Chicago Sky rolled out their boldest promotional play yet, turning their court into a Barbie dreamscape. But there was a problem. A big one. Angel Reese wasn't even playing. And the Indiana Fever were walking straight into that dream, ready to turn it into a nightmare. What followed was not just a win. It was a statement, a message, a dismantling. Without Caitlin Clark on the floor, the Fever delivered their most commanding blow yet in a so-called rivalry that has been anything but even.
I was trying to play, shorter stints, but, sometimes it's almost harder to sit on the bench.
Final score, 93-78. And it wasn't even that close. The media continues to push. This is the rivalry of a generation. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. Iowa versus LSU, repackaged now as Indiana versus Chicago. A battle of stars, clash of personalities, but the scoreboard tells a different story. In the last 7 meetings between these two teams, Indiana has won 6. That's not a rivalry. That's a pattern, a habit, dominance. And on this particular night, the disparity reached new heights, with Caitlin Clark sitting out to nurse a minor injury. The burden fell on veteran Kelsey Mitchell. She didn't blink. Instead, she erupted. Mitchell dropped a season-high 35 points, shooting 12-19 from the field and an astonishing 7 of 10 from three-point range.
Especially the first play of the game with, I think she had like 2 or 3 deflections on that first.
It was surgical, ruthless, and historically significant. She became just the second player in Indiana Fever history alongside Clark herself to record 3-5-5-5 game with at least 5 made threes. This wasn't just a performance, it was a thunderous announcement. But Mitchell wasn't alone. Michaela Timpson, the unassuming rookie who has quietly made her case all season, stepped into the spotlight with 14 points on 6 of 8 shooting. Her presence wasn't loud, but it was undeniable. When Chicago tried to rally, Timpson's efficiency silenced the noise. Her hustle forced turnovers, her footwork opened lanes. She didn't play like a rookie, she played like someone who belonged. Then, there was Chloe B signed to a 7-day contract just days earlier, draining threes like a veteran.
Integrate her, how do we continue to keep our ball movement and get the ball going, not just side to side.
Scoring 8 points in just 10 minutes. Her presence created floor spacing that allowed stars like Aaliyah Boston to go to work inside. And go to work she did. Boston secured her 3rd straight double-double with 14 points and 11 rebounds. But her fingerprints were everywhere, she added. 6 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Every possession felt like she had a hand in it. Chicago had no answer. None. Lexi Hall added timely buckets. Sophie Cunningham provided floor leadership. The rotations were seamless. The execution clinical. And all of it was done without the biggest star in women's basketball. Caitlin Clark wasn't on the court, but make no mistake, she dominated the night before the game. Clark walked the perimeter of the United Center in street clothes, signing over 200 autographs for fans, most of them Chicagoans. She knew they had come to see her. She made sure they still felt her presence.
And I think that's just building consistency and building her endurance.
Young girls waited in line for her signature. Adults cheered just to be near her. Cameras followed her every move, even as the game began. It was impossible to ignore. In a game she didn't play, she still stole the spotlight. The arena might have been dressed in pink, but Fever fans were louder. Social media lit up in real time, mocking the irony. Fever Night started trending. On Twitter, Instagram flooded with memes of empty seats draped in pink and Fever fans chanting in the background. TikTok erupted with jokes that the Sky should rename the event. Mitchell Night, after Kelsey's on-court explosion? This wasn't the storyline Chicago had hoped for. Angel Reese's absence hung over the game like a shadow. She was supposed
into the paint. We try to shoot over 4 or 5 people instead of our seeing our easy pass.
to be the center of attention. The Barbie marketing angle revolved around her persona, her charisma, her presence, and yet she wasn't there, injured and unavailable. Without her, the promotion felt hollow, unanchored. The energy deflated quickly. Even when the Sky cut the lead down to 2 points midway through the game, it never truly felt competitive, because Indiana responded with precision every single time at one point. The Fever unleashed a 9-0 run that pushed the lead back to double digits. Chicago was left spinning, confused, defeated. Coach Tyler Marsh's post-game demeanor said it all. He looked exhausted, frustrated, admitting in the press conference that teams had figured out how to exploit the Sky's weaknesses. Problem? Those weaknesses are showing up again and again. Lack of execution, poor rotations.
We had a lot of inconsistency. We raised to the occasion when we're playing for 30,000, and then
repeated mistakes. Chicago isn't growing. They're repeating, and when your own players, like Rachel Baum, publicly admit to having a screw-it mentality before the game, you know something is broken in the culture. This isn't just about missing a star player. It's about an identity crisis. The Sky don't know who they are. The Fever, they do. Even without Clark, they move with purpose. This night was a disaster for Chicago on every level. Promotional, competitive, emotional. They invited Indiana to the biggest party they've hosted all year and got humiliated on their own pink carpet. The crowd lopsided, the atmosphere Fever dominant, the impact permanent. But what does this really mean long term? It means one franchise is building something sustainable while the other is praying for flashes of magic.
Be deflating toward our defense.
Last one for me, Caleb. What did you think of the...
The Fever now sit third. In the Eastern Conference, just 2 games behind Atlanta, boasting a winning record even as Clark heals. Their rotation is deep. Their coaching staff confident. Their chemistry growing. They're learning how to win without their superstar. When she returns, healthy, focused, rested, they'll be even more dangerous. Meanwhile, Chicago continues to sink. 7 wins, 18 losses, 5 straight defeats. No consistency, no reliable leadership. Their themed nights are becoming cautionary tales. Caitlin Clark didn't have to score a single point to win the night. She won it with grace, humility, and star power, signing hundreds of autographs, smiling with fans, creating memories while her teammates crushed the competition. That's influence, it's leadership, and that's what separates the good from the great. Indiana proved something bigger than just winning a basketball game. They proved they have culture, they have talent, and they have vision. Kelsey Mitchell's eruption, Timpson's breakout. Boston's brilliance, Bai's sharpshooting. Every piece of the puzzle clicked in. None of it depended on Clark being available. That's a championship formula in the making. When Clark returns in, the Fever will be positioned, not just as a playoff threat, but as a legitimate title contender. They've used her absence to grow, to challenge each other, and to prove they're not just riding one superstar's wave. They're building a wave of their own, one that's starting to crash through the entire WNBA. And what about this so-called rivalry? Let's put that myth to rest. Rivalries require balance, back and forth. Drama on the court, not just on Twitter. This isn't a rivalry, it's a landslide. Indiana owns this matchup. Scoreboards prove it. Stats scream it. The energy confirms it. And unless Chicago finds a way to rewrite their own story, the next theme night might end the same way, with Indiana dancing on their logo.